Hi everyone, and welcome back to Liz Sews, and the next video in my Make It Your Own series, where I show you how to take an already well-fitting bra pattern and change up the style line so you have something that looks uniquely your own. In today's video, we'll be looking at how to convert a full band bra into a partial band bra. Today's video will solely be focused on the pattern alterations and will not touch on construction. If you need more information on how to construct a partial band bra, I have several tutorials already on my channel for you, and I will link them in the iCards above here. So let's get started. For this tutorial, you will need all the pattern pieces from your full band bra, including cups, back band, cradle, and bridge, tape, scissors, writing utensil, curved and straight edged rulers, scrap or tracing paper. So to start out with, I'm just going to be looking at the cup pieces. So if we look at our normal bra, generally the cup is attached to the frame, and then the wires are attached to the seam allowance and then folded to the outside of the bra. That is, the wires sit below the cup. But if we're using a partial band bra, so here's an example of a partial band bra. Obviously, there's no band down here for that wires to attach to. So instead of folding outwards, we have to do it opposite and fold it into the bra itself. Now, we don't want to take away any of the volume of the cup. We want the volume of the cup to remain the same. And so in order to allow that wire to fold into the inside without changing the volume of the cup, we need to account for that in our seam allowances. So in my cup pieces right here, I'm going to add 3/8 of an inch along the wire line. So that's going to be along these two sides of the upper cup piece here and the lower edge right here. So whatever your bra pattern is that you're using, you want to add 3/8 of an inch along your wire line. And it's 3/8 of an inch because underwire channeling is 3/8 of an inch wide. So I'm just going to be using lots of pieces of scrap paper. But basically, you tape it into place like so. And then I just take my ruler and add 3/8 of an inch extra. So if you have other edges, you just sort of like continue them on and connect it. So I've added 3/8 of an inch to that side. And I'm going to go ahead and add 3/8 of an inch to this side as well. Okay, so now that I've added 3/8 of an inch up here, I'm going to go ahead and add my 3/8 of an inch on the lower cup piece. And I'm just going to fast forward through that because there's not much more that you need to see. Okay, so now I've added all of my extra along the wire line, so the bottom of the cup here and the sides of the cup here. I'm not adding anything to the cross cup seams at all, only the areas where the underwire channeling will be sewn. That's all the alterations that you need to make to your cup pieces. Now we can start looking at the frame. So first I'm going to start out with my bridge and my frame piece here. If you want to, you can overlap them at this seam allowance mark if it makes it a little bit easier for you to see things. I'm going to go ahead and do that here, but it's not necessary. So the first thing we need to decide is our bridge piece itself. So the bottom of my new partial bridge can't be any lower than the bottom of my wire here. So that's sort of like my limiting factor. Let's see if I put a straight ruler across here. So that's as low as my bridge can go. I personally, if I'm doing a partial bridge, I like something that's a little bit tinier. So I'm going to draw a line in anywhere above that low point. You can draw in a line. So that's going to be the bottom of my bridge. And you can have it extend all the way to your top of your wires, or you can have a partial bridge that is just a little piece of fabric. So in this example here, you can see it goes all the way to the top of the wires here. But if you wanted, you could have just a little piece of fabric that runs in between these two wire points here and then is open above the bridge. So for the project that I am working on, I do think I want it to be lower than the edge of the wires. So again, I am going to draw the top of my bridge. You can draw it wherever you want. I do want to make sure that I'm maintaining a parallel line with the original top of the bridge. But I think that's going to be the new top. So that's the top and the bottom. And then of course I'm going to need some seam allowances on there. I just need 1/4 inch because this is going to be sewn fabric to fabric. So 1/4 inch there and 1/4 inch there. So now I'm just going to cut that out, and that's going to be my new bridge piece. And then the last thing that I need to do is again adjust my wire line. So you know in the cups how we added 3/8 inch because the wire is now going to be folded into the inside of the cup. Previously the wire was sitting in the bridge here, and because the wire is no longer sitting in the bridge, that means we have to take away that 3/8 inch. So we're taking it from the bridge and adding it to the cup. So just like we did before, I'm going to measure 3/8 inch in from this cut edge here. And once I've done that, I'm going to cut this away. And so here's my finished bridge piece. Now if I go in and I draw on my 1/4 inch seam allowance, you're going to see that once I come up to the center, it's probably going to be not wide enough. And that means I need to shorten my bridge even further. Actually, no, it looks like I'm just going to barely reach it. So on mine, you can see where the 1/4 inch, it just barely meets in the center here. If I had an issue where that 1/4 inch crossed over, that means that I don't have enough width up at the top to accommodate, and you would need to make your bridge even shorter so that you have enough that it at least can accommodate your 1/4 inch seam allowance. But for mine, it looks like it's just barely meeting. I think I'm gonna trim just a little bit off the top because I don't want a tiny little triangle like that. So I'm just going to cut a little teeny tiny bit off the top, and that means that in my finished bra, this is going to be the upper edge right there. So that's all we need to do for the bridge piece, and we're going to go ahead and look at the outer cradle now. So now I'm going to align the outer cradle seam allowance with my back band seam allowance. I'm going to overlap those two pieces until they match, and then I'm going to tape them into place. Now, a lot of times for partial band bras, if you want to, you can have these as two separate pieces, but I like to just continue on my back band material. So normally my back band is made out of a power net, and this might be made out of something stable. If I'm doing a partial band bra, I'm just going to cut this all as one single piece, and it's all going to be power net. But if you want to, you could have it as two separate pieces if you wish. So just like we did on the bridge, this is the lowest point it could possibly be as it's coming across. So let me pencil in that line. So that's the lowest it can possibly go. If it goes any lower than that, then obviously it's going to be a full band bra that's going to come all the way around. I'm going to come up just a little bit, and I'm going to blend it into my back band piece. And so I'm looking at my seam allowances here. I'm going to blend it into the seam allowance there. So not the very cut edge, but the sewn edge of my back band piece. So I'm just going to draw a straight line like so. So it's going to be the new bottom edge of my back piece. And then, of course, I need to put in my seam allowances. So it looks like this pattern has accommodation for 1/2 inch elastic, so I do want to keep that 1/2 inch elastic. I'll just mark in 1/2 inch below there. So all of this is going to go away. We don't need it anymore. So just like we did on the bridge, we need to take into account the fact that we've added our extra to the cut piece in the wire line here, so we need to take it away from the wire line of our frame. So just like we did before, we're going to measure in 3/8 of an inch from this cut edge, and that's going to be our new cut edge. And then once that's marked in, you can cut off the excess. And then lastly, adding in our 1/4 inch seam allowance marker. So now we have our new back band piece. So as I had mentioned, you can keep this all in one piece here, making this entire thing out of power net, or you can split them back apart and use this as a stable frame and just a power net over here. The option's up to you. So I think I'm going to combine them into a single piece. So here is my side frame and back band and my bridge piece there. And then of course we have our two cut pieces. So that is all the pattern alterations that you need to make to convert a full band bra into a partial band bra. If you need some construction help with partial band bras, I have 2 tutorials on my channel that are partial band constructions, and I will link both of them up in the iCards above. So partial band bra, the big thing to pay attention to is that your wires are going to be, or your underwire channeling is going to be attached to the opposite side that it normally is, and of course it's going to curl up into the cup instead of curling down into the band. So that's the main point of differentiation. Another thing I would point out is that you need to make sure you have some way to know where your bridge gets attached. So on this particular bridge, right, I had notch marks right there that correspond with this cross cup seam. So when I am constructing my bra, I do need to make sure that that cross cup seam lines up with my bridge piece here, and I will have extra that extends above the bridge. I hope everyone has enjoyed this tutorial, and be sure to subscribe to my channel so you get notifications every time new videos come out. Take care and happy bra making.